Long before modern science, before movies and smartphones, there was a small group of city-states along the Mediterranean Sea. The people who lived there told stories of powerful gods, asked deep questions about life, and invented a new way of thinking called philosophy. This is the story of the ancient Greeks. How they lived, how their greatest thinkers changed the world, and what they believed happened after death. Ancient Greece was not one big country at first. It was a collection of city-states called poleis. Each city-state had its own government, its own army, and its own way of doing things. Some of the most famous city-states were Greece had rocky mountains and a long coastline. The land was not great for farming huge amounts of crops, so many Greeks became sailors, traders, and colonists. They sailed across the Mediterranean and the Black Sea, founding new Greek-style cities and spreading their culture. This world of busy ports, open seas, and strong city pride shaped the minds of the Greek people. It gave them new ideas, new questions, and new stories. Before philosophy, the Greeks explained the world through myths. They believed in many gods who lived on Mount Olympus, the highest mountain in Greece. Some of the most important gods were Zeus, king of the gods, who ruled the sky and thunder. Hera, queen of the gods and goddess of marriage. Poseidon, god of the sea and earthquakes. Athena, goddess of wisdom and war strategy, protector of Athens. Apollo, god of music, light and prophecy. Artemis, goddess of the hunt and wild animals. Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. Ares, god of war. Hades, god of the underworld, where the dead went. They also told stories about heroes like Heracles, Hercules, Perseus, Theseus and Odysseus, who fought monsters, went on quests, and showed courage and cleverness. These myths explained storms, earthquakes, the changing seasons, and even human emotions. They also shaped what many Greeks believed about the afterlife, which we will explore in detail later. But some Greeks began to ask new questions. Instead of just telling stories about gods, they started asking, what is the universe made of? How should we live? What is justice? What is a good life? These questioners became the first philosophers. Long before the famous trio of Socrates, Plato and Aristotle, there were earlier thinkers we call the pre-Socratics. They mostly tried to understand nature and the universe. A few important ones include Thales of Miletus. He lived around the 600s BCE. Thales asked what everything in the universe is made of. He suggested that the basic substance was water. He also used observation to predict a solar eclipse. Anaximander, a student of Thales. He thought the universe came from something he called the boundless, not any one common substance like water. Heraclitus. He believed that everything is always changing. His famous idea was that you cannot step into the same river twice because the water is always flowing and changing. Pythagoras. He is well known from math class for the Pythagorean theorem, but he also led a kind of religious group. He believed that numbers were the key to understanding reality and that the soul was reborn in different bodies over time. This is a kind of reincarnation. These early thinkers still believed in gods, but they tried to look for natural explanations and patterns too. They were the first steps toward scientific thinking. One of the most famous philosophers in history is Socrates. Socrates lived in Athens during the 400s BCE. He did not write books. Instead, he walked around the city and asked people questions. He would ask things like, what is courage? What is justice? What does it mean to be good? Socrates believed that many people thought they were wise, but were actually confused. He used questions to help people see what they did not know. This method is called the Socratic method. Socrates believed living a good and examined life was more important than money or power. The soul was more important than the body. Doing what is right matters more than staying safe. He was put on trial by the Athenian government and accused of corrupting the youth and not respecting the city's gods. He was sentenced to death and drank a cup of poison called hemlock. Socrates accepted his punishment rather than run away, because he believed obeying the law was part of living a just life. He did not write about the afterlife in detail, but he seemed to believe the soul continued after death and that a good person did not need to fear what came next. We know most of what we know about Socrates from his student Plato. Plato was one of Socrates' most famous students. He started a school in Athens called the Academy, which is one of the first known schools of philosophy. Plato wrote many works in the form of dialogues, where characters talk and argue about important ideas. Socrates is often the main character. Some of Plato's big ideas: there is a higher, invisible world of perfect forms or ideas. For example, every circle we draw is not perfect, but there is a perfect idea of a circle that exists in this higher world. Our everyday world is like a shadow or a copy of this more perfect reality. The soul is immortal. It existed before birth and will continue after death. In Plato's view of the afterlife, souls are judged after death. Good souls that lived wisely will have a better fate. Some souls may be rewarded, others punished, and some may be reborn. The goal is for the soul to become wise and pure enough to live forever in the realm of the forms, especially the form of the good. Plato believed that philosophy is a kind of practice for dying. By focusing on truth, goodness, and wisdom, the soul prepares itself for the life that comes after death. Aristotle was Plato's student, but he did not agree with everything Plato taught. He was extremely curious about the natural world. He studied plants, animals, politics, art, and more. He is sometimes called the first true scientist. Some of Aristotle's main ideas: he believed that we should carefully observe the world and collect facts before forming theories. He developed rules for clear thinking, known as logic. He believed everything in nature has a purpose or goal. For humans, the goal is to live a life of virtue and reason. This leads to a kind of deep happiness called eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing. Aristotle did believe in a kind of soul, but he saw it differently than Plato. For him, the soul is what makes a living thing alive, and able to do what it does. Plants have plant souls, animals have animal souls, and humans have rational souls. Aristotle did not focus much on rewards and punishments after death. His main concern was how to live well in this life, to be brave, fair, wise, and self-controlled. After the time of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, Greek philosophy spread throughout the Mediterranean, especially after the conquests of Alexander the Great. New schools of thought formed, each with its own ideas about life and the afterlife. The Stoics, starting with Zeno of Citium, taught that the universe is guided by a rational order, sometimes called the Logos. People should live in agreement with nature and reason. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. Stoics focused on inner strength and self-control. They believed the soul is connected to the rational order of the universe. After death, what remains is how well you lived according to reason and virtue. Some Stoics believed the soul might survive for a time, but forever or not, the main point was this: live with courage, justice, self-control, and wisdom right now. The Epicureans, following Epicurus, had a very different view. Epicurus taught that everything is made of tiny particles called atoms. The soul is also made of atoms and does not last forever. When we die, we simply stop existing. There is no pain, no fear, no afterlife. Epicurus did not say we should live wildly and do whatever we want. He believed we should live calmly, with simple pleasures, good friends, and freedom from fear. He thought fear of the gods and fear of death made people miserable. If you understand that death is just the end of feeling, then you do not have to be afraid. His famous idea was that death is nothing to us, because as long as we are alive, we are not dead, and when we are dead, we do not feel anything. The skeptics were philosophers who questioned whether we can ever be fully certain about anything. Since they doubted that humans could know the truth about the gods or the afterlife, many skeptics said the wise thing to do is suspend judgment. They did not strongly claim that there was or was not an afterlife. Their main goal was peace of mind. By not getting too attached to strong opinions, they hoped to avoid stress and conflict. So, what did the ancient Greeks as a whole think happened after you die? It depends on which Greeks you ask. In traditional Greek myth, when a person died, their psyche or spirit left the body. Hermes, the messenger god, led the spirit to the underworld. The underworld was ruled by Hades and his queen, Persephone. The underworld was not usually a place of fire and torture. It was more like a shadowy, quiet world. Inside it, there were different regions. The asphodel fields, a plain grey area where ordinary souls wandered. Elysium, the Elysian fields, a beautiful place of light and joy for heroes and especially good people. Some versions say that after being reborn and living well 3 times, a soul could stay here forever. Tartarus, a deep, dark dungeon for the worst offenders, including certain gods and legendary sinners. Some religious groups, like the Orphic followers, believed in more detailed systems of judgment and rebirth, where the soul had to go through many lives to be purified. For many ordinary Greeks, the afterlife was not the main focus. Life in the underworld sounded dull for most people. What mattered more was honor, family, and reputation in this life. Different philosophers had different ideas. Pythagoras and the Orphics believed in reincarnation, where the soul is reborn in different bodies and must be purified over many lifetimes. Socrates suggested that a good person should not fear death. He hoped either for a peaceful sleep with no dreams or a chance to talk with famous heroes and wise people in another world. Plato believed in an immortal soul that is judged after death. Good souls are rewarded and can rise to a higher, more perfect world. Bad souls may be punished or need to be reborn to try again. Aristotle focused more on living well here and now. He talked less about personal life after death and more about fulfilling our human purpose through virtue. Stoics believed our inner self is connected to the rational universe. Whether the soul lasts forever or returns to the cosmic fire, the main point is to live wisely and bravely. Epicureans believed there is no personal life after death. The soul stops existing when the body dies, so we should not fear the afterlife at all. So, in ancient Greece, there was not just one belief about what happens after death. There was a whole debate. Ancient Greece was a land of mountains and islands, sailors and soldiers, poets and storytellers, but above all, it was a land of thinkers. From Thales wondering what the world is made of, to Socrates asking why we live the way we do, to Plato and Aristotle building systems of ideas, the Greeks changed the way humans think forever. They did not all agree on the gods or the afterlife. Some believed in immortal souls and worlds beyond this one. Others believed that death is the end and that we should focus on living wisely today. Yet they shared something important. They believed that asking questions, seeking truth, and trying to live a good life really matters. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of ancient Greece, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves history. Until next time, keep exploring the past and keep asking big questions.